I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. It is the Fishing in Florida Show, and I am your host, Riscala. And this morning, I have the one and only Carolyn Stash. She is with Atlas Trax, and if you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to call? Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning, Riscala, and all our listeners.
So, one of the first things we do in the morning is we talk about what's happening with regard to the radar, what's happening with regard to the water. And this morning, with regard to the radar, not a whole lot happening in our area. There's some stuff happening up around the Panhandle, but not a whole lot happening around our area. However, with that said, we do have a lot happening with the water. We have small craft advisories are out today. The the seas are 5 to 7 feet. I don't want to be out there. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a pretty good day for, if my microphone will cooperate, it doesn't look like it's going to be a good day for the small guys. Let's see, looking at the tides, we've already had a low tide at 3:34 this morning. Next high tide will be right after the show, so you guys get ready to go. It's right after the show. How do you like that? 10:01 a.m., 4:09 is the next low tide, and then 10:22 tonight for the final high. The beaches are, if you're going to be in North Palm Beach, if you plan on going to North Palm Beach, just be aware they're dredging north of Palm Beach area, and so that water's coming down. It's going to be murky and muddy and may not be too pleasant, so just be aware of that. Don't see anything about man of war or any other sea lice. No mention of sea lice. So it looks like it's, if you don't mind a little murky water, it'd be a nice day. Got out this morning, walked the dog like I do every Sunday morning. It was so nice. Oh, my gosh. And I take it, Carolyn, you're looking at the beach where you're through your monitor, or what do you see?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love looking at these earth cams in the morning time, and I check out Fort Lauderdale Beach, and it looks like usually it's flat when I report to the listeners, but right now it looks like it's breaking right on the sand, maybe 2-3 feeters. So it'd be good if some surfers are probably going to get their boards out and hit the beach this morning. This doesn't look like too many clouds, mostly to the east, but it is definitely windy. I can see the palm trees blowing. Yeah,
and I'm probably 20 some odd miles inland, and I'm getting a breeze out here. So I know if I'm getting it here, it's got to be out there on the ocean as well. Did you get to do any fishing this last week?
I did dock fishing. We did a lot of house work, but I went through I was told to empty out the bait freezer, so I went and got some shrimp, and normally I'm in the refrigerator. You probably know that, getting hot dogs and things. They actually use real squid, shrimp, too much electricity costs to have a bait freezer with 1 or 2 things in it. So, but there's a lot of catfish, small snook, a lot of little snapper. We just toss them right back in, so that's kind of fun. But, I'll tell you what's funny. You mentioned the tides. We have our boat on a boat lift and planned a big boat ride last Sunday. Didn't look at the tides, and the water was so low we could barely get the boat off the lift. Basically, we're going to cancel the trip. So it took 4 of us to just pull with all our might because it was down as low as it could go. So, watch those tides when you have to take your boat out or even for the fishing.
That's awesome, though, that you get you don't have to. For me, it was I had to put of course, the boat was already on the trailer, but I had to hook the trailer to the van. I had a van that I pulled it with. Then I have to drive it down to the ramp. Then I have to wait for the dipsticks down there to get done doing it, because the craziest things you would see at the ramp, oh my gosh, I just saw the most insane things sometimes. Then, of course, you finally get in and you get going. It's so much nicer to be able to say, okay, let's go. And within, 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most, you're on the water and gone?
Right, about 10 minutes to drop it in the water. We're lucky enough to have a commercial ice maker. Fill up a cooler with the ice maker. Usually friends bring, sandwiches, and we just jump in and head to Lake Delta.
How sweet.
So it is really, really convenient to have that. which we like. But you know what? You made me think of the boat ramp. There's a funny clip that I'm gonna have to post on our Facebook page about. I think it was a Family Guy, the way that they were trying to back a trailer down into the water to take the boat off, and it with all the attempts and how it jackknifed and how many. It was just a really funny cartoon clip. I'm gonna have to put that up for us.
I have seen some crazy stuff at boat ramps. I was at John Pennekamp Park, that's down in the Keys, and I don't know if they still do, but they did have a pretty harsh ramp. I mean, the angle was pretty strong. And there was a guy down there who had looked like what appeared to be a relatively new BMW. He was putting in a sailboat. And it appeared to be that the BMW was not an automatic, it was a manual. And he stopped the car. I guess he put the parking brake on or the emergency brake on, but maybe not strong enough to stop the car at that point. But then as it was only him. As he was in the boat trying to get the boat off of the trailer, the car starts rolling backwards. And there was no way he could stop it. I felt so bad. It was funny at the time, but I felt bad afterwards. I'm like, my gosh, your whole car's gone. The whole thing was underwater. They had to get a tow truck and pull him out. Yeah, some crazy stuff goes on at the boat ramps. All right, I think we have our next guest on. That's William Dunn. And William, if I'm not mistaken, will take a kid fishing. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good, Carolyn.
Hi, good morning, William. How's it going?
It's going great. How are y'all doing?
Good. And, I'm glad you're on because last time you were with us, you talked about how you donate a lot of fishing rods to some of the kids you take fishing. I actually reached out to the folks at the West Palm Beach Fishing Club, and they told me to remind them next week, and they have some rods set aside for you.
Oh, wow. That's a blessing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you just have to give me an idea about how many would help, and I'll make sure that you guys talk to each other.
Yes, ma'am. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's Take a Kid Fishing, Inc. A lot of people are getting us. There's a Take a Kid Fishing Foundation somewhere up north, but we're based in Central Florida. It's Take a Kid Fishing, Inc.
And that's what you do, right?
Yes, sir. We take kids in foster care, less fortunate kids, and kids that are fatherless.
And, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on is one of my passions, of course, are children, because I've just something that has been in my heart since the time as far back as I can remember. And when I hear about people like you, and I am a former foster parent. I was a foster parent for the state of Florida for about 8 years. So I know and I have seen personally some of the things that these children have to go through. It's bad enough that they're taken away from their home and they're put into a strange home of some sort. It's hard for them to relax and find some enjoyment with all this craziness going on around them. So when I find out about somebody like you who takes the time to take them out and, get their mind off it and teach them something that they could use literally for the rest of their lives if they wanted to. And who knows, you might turn out of all of that, you may turn up some kind of tournament king, you never know, right?
Oh yeah. We did a trip 2 weeks ago on the Double Eagle. It was a little choppy. It was a 5 to 7, but these kids have been locked up with the COVID. We went on Double Eagle, got a bunch of grunts. I got a trip coming up this Saturday for one of the boys that's fatherless for his birthday, and then we're doing a trip out of Cortez with Captain Lance with the Florida Fishing Fleet. A lot of captains are donating their time to us, so it's been a blessing. It's
one of the things that I have said repeatedly is that the fishing community reaches out constantly. And they're not bashful about it. Get out there and they do it, and they do what's needed. Again, I wanted to have you on to kind of remind people that there are organizations like yours, because kids are my passion. There are organizations out there like yours, and how do people get involved, or how can someone help with your organization, William?
The best way to do is reach me on email. It's takeakidfishing2018 at gmail.com. We also have an Instagram page, Take a Kid Fishing Inc., and website is takffl.com. Send me an email, and love volunteers. We're actually doing a little thing this coming weekend over at the Skyway. We need some volunteers for that. So if people reach out to me, I'll reach back to them, and a lot of people in the Tampa Bay area.
Okay, so the email, because when we put the archive up, I got to make sure I got this right. The email would be takeakidfishing2018 at Gmail.
At gmail.com, yes, sir.
Okay, and then the website is T like Tom, A, K like King, FFL.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. That way I make sure that I've got it right when we set the archives up. So if any of you want the information after the show, just go back to the Fishing in Florida show on Facebook. You'll find a link there. All of our archives are on YouTube, but for the life of me, I can't. If you put Fishing in Florida as a query in on YouTube, you'll get a bazillion results, and none of them are us. So I haven't figured out how to work the search engine there. But if you are a Facebook fanatic, you can go to Facebook and you'll find our page there, and there's a link to the archives on YouTube. So it sounds like you've got some things planning here in the very short future.
Oh, yes, sir. Like I said, we're trying to keep the trips, down to the minimum. We do the Burr Monday over in Osceola County with Byron and his wife, Kim. We take, 5 kids, a couple volunteers, keeping it safe distance, mask. I mean, we're just trying to get these kids out, with them being, a lot of them are still being schooled at the children's home, just to get them out and enjoy the day on the water and show them someone's there for them.
Yeah,
So William, how would one get selected to go fishing with you? I mean, there's so many foster kids, there's so many kids in need. How do you select who gets to go fishing what week, or how would one know how to start with you, the process?
Well, like I said, I do a lot of local group homes. I'm actually branching out to Pinellas County and stuff. A lot of people reach out to me, but what I do is we the transportation is the main thing. It's kind of hard with the liability of me transporting them. So I usually do, if I do a group home, it's usually 10 kids. They transport them, and I bring 4 or 5 kids. But the question you were asking me is, get a hold of me by email, and we work kids in. Like I said, we'll take 5 to 7 that are fatherless with the group home. We work them in that way.
Yeah. So how many kids are living in a typical group home?
Well, I mean, you got some group homes, there's 30, some group homes, there's 50. So, I mean, we alternate. I mean, some don't like to fish, but some just go out for the day. So, I mean. So if like 20 kids want to go next weekend, how do you select which 5 or 7 get to go? I mean, if all the kids want to go with you because they think it's a great thing, how do you choose? I mean, with so many wonderful kids, how do you choose which one to go? I leave it up to the group homes. I mean, I call them and tell them, hey, I got a trip March 12th or February 15th for 20 kids. And they go through and ask them which ones want to go. Like I said, the ones that actually, individuals that call me, a lot of single moms that their boys or daughters are fatherless, we take them, we schedule them in on a trip. Like I said, I got a trip scheduling out of Cortez in a couple weeks. We're gonna put it out there on the page, and I got 5 spots open or 7 spots open, and that's how we fill those in.
Got it. Well, it's such a wonderful thing that you do, and we appreciate it a lot. And I'm going to help you with rods and reels. I definitely want to make sure we get more equipment if that helps your effort.
Definitely be a blessing. And another thing, what you're asking, a lot of these kids are afraid to go on boats. So we actually doing a lot of local stuff. I actually got a call Friday from the FWC, and they're wanting to join forces with me, which I thought was the most biggest blessing for the guy to call me.
Cool.
They called me. They're having a KFC, and he said, it's not Kentucky Fried Chicken, but a kids fishing clinic in a couple months. It was canceled last year, and they want take kid fishing to come and bring kids in the community. And they're going to donate their trailer and all their fishing rods and tackle. I mean, it's one blessing after another. And, it's really getting out there. I was on the Living the Water Life podcast this past week. So I'm getting a lot of exposure, and we're 501c. So a lot of people have been donating. Excuse me. It's been a rough year with the COVID, but God's provided. I mean, it's been awesome.
And I'm probably guessing this is what you do in your off work time, because you probably work full time. And this is probably just to show our listeners that how much time we all invest in community. I'm sure you do this in your off time. I
work 60 hours plus during the week. I'm a tire salesman, and this this is my passion on the weekends. My wife is a big supporter of me. My daughter graduated a couple years ago, so we have a lot of free time. But this is my passion on the weekends.
God bless you, brother. I love it. Like I said, I was a foster parent for quite a few years myself, so I've seen what the children go through. And when someone like you steps in, it's literally like a sunny day for them after having a gloomy day, a gloomy, rainy day, and not being able to do anything. Someone like you comes along, it's literally like a sunny day for them. And it's what a refreshing treat to be able to take them out and get their mind off of all of this stuff. And on
Yes, sir.
in a
Yes,
small group like that, you can it allows you to work more easily one-on-one. You know, I could imagine if you had 50 kids, it would be really hard. So on average, you have like around 10 kids, 7 to 10?
Yeah, on the smaller trips, but on the Double Eagle, we do 20. I mean, like I said, it's the 83 or 84-foot catamaran. He usually gives us the whole boat to ourselves, so it's been really awesome. We do a 1 to 5 trip. We go off about 11 miles offshore. We provide lunch for them. I do giveaways. I do a lot of giveaways. First fish, I'll give them $25. Biggest fish. It's just an activity that they look forward to, and they all call me Big Will. And you know, all the shall I say, cottage parents. They say, oh, all the kids are asking when we're going fishing with Big Will again, because I mean they look forward to it. It's a treat for them. I mean, like you said, it's a light in the darkness for them. I mean, I hear testimonies. They write me letters after the trips and little notes, and
wow,
it's just awesome.
That is a payment that goes far beyond anything that money can buy.
Yes, sir.
There's just something in that. I'm very similar in that aspect. I got doing what we were doing as foster parents. There was a payment there that it's just far exceeds anything financially you could ever imagine. The joy and the satisfaction of knowing that you're helping a child, and then of course through that we adopted 7 children through all of that. So I've got them from both sides of the fence. I've got them very smart, and I've got them with learning disabilities. So I've had the experience of all the way around, and it's awesome, man. I really appreciate everything that you do. You are truly an inspiration for other people. Step up and help, because they truly do need the help today more than ever, especially with the COVID thing too, and being locked up.
And one other thing, we actually did a couple about 2 months ago, the Lighthouse of Pinellas for the blind.
Oh,
these kids were amazing. I mean, all the kids we took out were legally blind on the Double Eagle, and I get choked up when I talk about it, because I got pictures and videos of these kids reeling in fish. They put a killing on the grunts and the flounder. And then we took out a group called Nubbability, which kids that have prosthetic arms and legs.
Oh my gosh!
And it was, like I said, these trips that I've been doing, I've been blessed with. These people are reaching out to me, and like I said, Captain Chad over at the Double Eagle, he's an awesome supporter of us. He's the back of this organization. He makes it happen for me. So I just want to give a big shout out to him.
Okay, let's give it a name again. What's his name? Captain
Chad at the Double Eagle out of Clearwater. Double Eagle Fleet out of Clearwater.
I'm gonna write that down, because
they're right there on the causeway of the beach in the Marina, and they got a couple fleets. They got the catamarans, the 80-something footer, and then they got a 90-footer. They do your 36 hours, your 24-hour trips, your all days, your half days, and they supply everything, the food and all. I mean, they really bless me.
Have you done? Go ahead, Carolyn. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if a captain in your local area wants to donate their boat, they could just reach out to you, and you could tell them what's needed, and just kind of work together.
Yeah, that's I said. I got a captain right now out of Cortez, Captain Lance, with the Florida Fishing Fleet out of Cortez, Florida. It's actually a little bit farther south for us, so it's a different area, which I really want to experience that. Down in Fort Myers area. It's a little south of Tampa. He donated. He called me. He's got a 42-footer. He's donating a trip for 10 kids and like 4 or 5 volunteers.
Awesome.
He told me don't worry about it. He's donating the whole trip.
Awesome.
So I mean, it's like I said, these kids are just. I call them and let them know, and they just are so excited about going out.
That is truly an amazing thing to do, and what a present. What a. I was going to ask
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you mentioned about the catamaran. They go out on like 36 hours. I'm just curious, have you ever done a 36-hour trip?
We did a 36-hour trip about 3 years ago. I think we maxed out about 5,000 pounds of snapper.
Oh my goodness gracious. Gravy.
We killed them.
Oh
I caught
my
mangoes.
gosh.
I caught probably 40. Well, we caught you're on a 2-day bag. Me and my buddy I went with, we caught our all of our mango limit. All the mangoes were over 4 or 5 pounds. We caught some big gag. Caught a 30-pound gag.
Wow.
We caught a couple nice Jewfish, but there's a couple of these boys that are turning 17 years old. We're going to try to get them out on maybe an overnighter, so they can play some tug of war.
My goodness. Well, I certainly appreciate you taking the time to share with us, and I also appreciate what you do. It is truly one of my heartstrings, and I am so grateful for people like you. Thank you, William. Greatly appreciate it, my friend.
No, thank you for having me on. Y'all have a blessed day.
Let me let Carolyn say goodbye to you, and we'll go to a break.
Have a great day, William, and look forward to putting you in touch with the West Palm Beach Fishing Club.
Well, I appreciate all the donations. Trust me, they'll go for good use. I really, really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Here we go.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show every Sunday morning from 8 to 10 on the WCET radio network. And now, from the Sunshine State, transmitting from Palm Beach County off the southeastern coast of Florida, your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida show. Good morning if you're just joining us and you missed out on a good portion already with William Dunn and what he does for the kids. You can find our archives on Facebook. Go to Facebook and you'll see a link there. Our archives, again, they're on YouTube, but if you put Fishing in Florida on YouTube, you'll just get a whole bunch of, you'll get everybody but us. All right, so this morning I have Carolyn. Carolyn's with Atlas Trax, and what I say about Carolyn, if you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to call? Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
To it.
I'm sorry, I had your volume I turned down a little bit, so say it again.
I said, thanks for having me on a Sunday, because you know I enjoy hanging out with you on Sunday morning.
And I think we have our next guest on. That's Joe. Joe is with Blue Seas Fresh Fish. How are you doing this morning, my friend?
Hi, guys. Good morning. How's it going?
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Carolyn.
Are you...
Hey,
go ahead, Carolyn.
I'm going to guess you didn't go fishing yesterday.
No, I was going to go this morning, but we called it. We didn't go. It's too windy.
Yeah, it's we have small craft warnings out there, so I don't know what the size. What size boat do you usually go in?
We were going to do a bait fishing trip this morning in a 25-foot contender.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a little
heavy
small,
duty.
but when you put 200 gallons of water in it, it becomes dangerous.
Yeah.
So when it's
Yeah,
rough, and I'm not big enough to do that too, but we do it. We've been doing it for a long time with that same boat.
Wow.
It works out well.
Wow. So did you get to do some fishing this last week?
I actually worked all week bait fishing. It was a busy week. Goggle eye fishing in the mornings, pilchard fishing down in Miami. A lot of bait around, that's for sure. It doesn't seem like there's many fish around from the fishing reports I've been getting the last couple of days.
What kind of fishing down in Miami? What kind of fishing down in Miami?
Pilchard. Or bait
oh,
fish,
pilchards.
small bait
Pilchards,
fish.
yeah.
Yep, we sell to marinas around Fort Lauderdale and Lighthouse Point.
Do you you ever go to the shoal? I'm trying to think of the one that Bruce Marks was in. Do you remember, Carolyn, what Bruce Marks is? Something shoal light, bug light, shoal light?
Bug light. Yeah,
Bug
light.
light.
He was doing something there. Yeah, absolutely. And so, Joe, if you were going to go out for fun fishing, because I know you fish for your fishing business, I know you fish for bait, I know you provide wonderful seafood in your business, but if you were just going to go out today and go fun fishing, what would you catch?
Today I probably would stay home. It's blowing out there. The ocean's rough. I don't know. It might be good, but we're just coming off of a full moon, and generally the daytimes after the full moon can be a little bit tough to catch fish. The moon's still big at night, and a lot of the fish are feeding at night, and during the day they just go down and hide. Become a little bit trickier to catch.
Oh.
Yeah, what's your favorite to catch? I know you and I have gone sword fishing in the past a couple times. What's your favorite fish to catch if you were going to get your dream fish of the day?
I really like kite fishing, and you can catch all different types of fish kite fishing. So we hang a goggle eye from a kite, so it sits up in the top of the water column, and fish come from below and sometimes skyrocket out of the water. It's pretty exciting. It's a fun way to fish. You got to have a little bit of wind to do it. Today's maybe a little bit too windy, but there's a bunch of sailfish tournaments going on this time of the year. So it's sailfish. We catch a lot of threadfin herring and goggle eyes, some pilchards too. But the majority of the big sailfish teams, they like goggle eyes and threadfin herring when it comes to sailfishing.
So you as a bait supplier to the marina is one of the other hats you wear. You have to know these tournament schedules because you got to pre-plan and get those marinas full, right? I mean, you've got to know. You have to know. You're the guy to go to for all the tournament schedules. Really?
Well, there's a big network of bait fishermen. We all work at nights and sleep all day like zombies, so you don't really see us in society very often. But we go out fishing all night long for the bait fish, and it's a big job. I mean, it definitely is. It's a full-time job. I do about 15 to 17 trips a month to supply 2 different marinas, and there's like 5 or 6 of us that supply the bait to those marinas. So it takes a crew of people to. It's actually a big business, bigger than you think.
Wow. I never thought about that, making it a business. My son took me out for Father's Day last year, and on a small boat, and he just caught his own. He took us out into a little area and caught his own little bait fish, and then took us out, and we caught some heavy-duty snook that day. It was an amazing fishing trip.
Yeah, in a lot of areas, there's bait. We have to travel to Miami just about every trip to get the bait fish certain times of the year.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not around here. So if you want to go fishing around here and you need 3 dozen goggle eyes to go out kite fishing for the day, you're either going to have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and hope you can find them around here, or you've got to travel to Miami and catch them, or you got to buy them. And every marina around town, especially in Broward County, every one of them has a live bait. They carry goggle eyes and pilchards primarily.
I never considered it as a business.
Yeah,
and it must
at
be.
Lighthouse Point Marina, there's 4 200-gallon tanks that circulate pretty much 24 hours a day, every day of the month, and they are always full with goggle eyes and pilchards, sometimes herring, sometimes cigar minnows. I know in Lauderdale Marina, there's 4 giant tanks there. I think they're each 200 gallons apiece, and they run all the time, and they're filled with bait. And those are the 2 marinas that we supply most of the bait to.
So somebody.
And you know what's it? Go ahead, Riscala.
I was just going to ask about what is the cost of goggle eyes? How expensive are they?
$80 for a dozen at the marinas.
Say that again. It's what?
$80 for a dozen of them.
80? Oh, holy smokes! Okay, go ahead, Carolyn. Wow.
I was going to say, and some of those tournament guys are taking out how many dozen? Like with the big sport fishes, Joe, they're taking 30 dozen?
Sometimes 10, 15 dozen for a day of fishing.
Holy smokes. I'm ignorant. When it comes to this level of fishing, I'm just completely ignorant. It just blows my mind. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's been like that for a long time, too. Since the early 2000s, I can remember the bait fishing business being very good.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what's crazy. The folks from Real Captivating, they've got a 62 Viking, which is actually on its way to Mexico right now. They pen the bait up, and they'll keep it in a pen for 6 to 7 months and feed them every couple of days and actually watch them grow in the pen. So that way they have them anytime they need them. And I had no idea that they could live that long in a pen.
Holy smokes.
It's just like a big fish tank. You put fish in the fish tank, as long as you feed them and you give them a decent environment to live in and enough space, they're going to live a long time.
Wow. Yeah, I've learned something completely. I wasn't even expecting that. That's just, oh my gosh. So
my boat will hold 300 goggle eyes in the boat between two 100-gallon wells with a big heavy-duty Hooker electric water pump.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to travel. We put the boat back on the trailer in Miami and then trailer it all the way back to Broward, put it back in the water.
With 300 gallons?
To the marina to deliver them.
With 300 gallons on board?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
200 gallons, 300 fish. Yeah,
holy smokes.
It's tricky. We use some chemicals in the water to keep the slime on the baits and keep them fresh and frisky. The whole idea is that they have to be kept alive and they have to be kept in pristine shape.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to be caught right, they have to be transported right, and then they have to be handled properly. And then they have to go into an environment that they're going to thrive in and be able to live for a few days so that they can be sold. Sometimes they have to live for a few weeks.
Wow.
So your
bait fishing is tricky because when the moon is full, it's very hard to catch goggle eyes, and so we have to kind of plan for it. We work 3 weeks out of the month bait fishing, and then 1 week out of the month taking care of all the fish that we caught and making sure they get transferred into the right pens at the marinas.
So Joe, you're transporting them in the boat on the trailer from Miami back up this way, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's just about every trip. Sometimes we catch them around here. I actually did a few trips around Broward County lately this last week. When the moon's full, we only get like that little early morning window to catch them before the sun rises. So I did fish around this area for them, and there was one day was really good, and a couple of days weren't so good, and that's pretty characteristic for Broward County goggle eye fishing. Very inconsistent.
I got to tell you guys a funny story. I went down in my vehicle to a local bait store a couple years ago with a 5-gallon bucket, and I thought to myself, how hard could this be to transport a dozen goggle eyes to my house? Let me tell you what. I was hardly looking out the window, splashing the top of the bucket with my hand, water all over the car, and half of them were dead. So that's not
Yeah.
the right way to do it.
Wow.
And the other half were pretty much useless because they probably weren't swimming so well.
No, they were kind of swimming upside down. So yeah, that's a pretty important way to transport. So tell us about your Blue Seas fresh fish. So for our listeners that don't know, and how awesome, Riscala, you can vouch for how awesome the food
Oh my
is.
gosh.
How's things going with that? I mean, you adding any product, or tell our listeners about that.
You know, the products are pretty standard. We offer the same locally caught fish. We deliver Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, fresh, never frozen, beautiful local caught fish. It gets filleted. The morning it's delivered to your house. It's comes vacuum sealed. And it's, you know, if you can't go out and catch it yourself, it's as fresh as you're going to get around this town. We also get one fish we import from Scotland. It's the salmon. We get it in every Tuesday, and we deliver it on Wednesday. And it's about the freshest salmon. I think you've tried that salmon, Riscala.
My mouth is watering.
Yeah, everyone. We've got 5-star reviews on every time we do a salmon delivery. People review it.
It is amazing.
It's one of the best salmons they've ever eaten.
Some of probably the best I've ever had, because I've never had it so fresh.
Hard to get fresh salmon in South Florida. And
Yeah.
You can't call it a local fish, or they'll look at you cross-eyed.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, Riscala posted up some pictures on our Fishing in Florida show, so you can see actually what he plated up and how good
It was
looked.
unbelievable. It was
Yeah,
really.
he sent me the
just
pictures too. It looked delicious.
The taste, the texture, it was just everything. It was great.
But it's really easy to get the fish. All you have to do is go online to blueseasfreshfish.com. The ordering process is very simple. You'll get a confirmation after your order. If it's your first order, you'll get a phone call so that you'll know exactly what to expect and what we're going to be doing. And it's real simple. It's real simple. We started it right when COVID started last year, and it's been growing slowly. We haven't really put a lot of time or energy into it, but we do take care of every order we get, and it's as fresh as can be.
I'll tell you, if you're somebody who goes through all the trouble of fueling up your boat and getting all your gear ready and fueling up the car and taking it down to the ramp and putting up with all that and then going out and catching a couple of fish and coming back, this will spoil you. Because I had some of
It's
the...
a lot cheaper. I got to tell you, it's a lot cheaper.
That's what I'm telling you.
The art of fishing, the fun of fishing is priceless, so it's hard to put a price tag on it going out fishing for a day.
I don't want to take away from that, because that truly is. But what I'm saying is this could spoil somebody, because they say, all right, well, we haven't caught anything. Where's Joe's number? Give me Joe's number. You know what I'm saying? So
it does make it easy.
It makes it real
Now,
easy.
I forget, how did you guys coordinate to get that salmon, Riscala? Did Joe bring it up? Did you come
He
down?
made a special trip. And now he doesn't do this all the time, but he made a special trip for me. He came up and brought it to my home. Yeah, up here in Palm Beach County. And he's down in Broward County.
Wow. Going up to another small family business.
Yeah.
We do deliver to days in Palm Beach County. We don't advertise to those areas, but we do deliver to them. We haven't done much business in those counties, though. Most of it's in Broward County.
That's a long ways.
Anywhere we get the orders from.
Yeah. Where he was to here is a long ways, and I'm ever so grateful, because not only was the fish excellent, the delivery, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so fresh, it was unbelievable. The delivery was excellent, and he brings it to you in a vacuum seal bag. And before he said, what are you going to do with that? So I'm going to put it in my freezer. He said, no, you don't want to put it in your freezer like this. He gives me another bag, like a liner, to go on the outside of it, so that this doesn't smell up. I mean, so he thinks of everything. That's why I said it just easily spoil some of you guys out there. I'm telling you, you come back from a fishing trip and you don't have anything, just give Joe a call. If it's on the right day, you'll have it.
Well, and here's another thing to say: a small local business owner got in his car and drove to you. At least I know you're an hour north. I've been up to your house, so you're at least an hour north for him.
Yeah.
And to bring that. So
It
Joe,
was
that's
a nice drive. It was a nice drive. I got to say, you live in a really cool area. It's a different world where I went to go deliver that to. So it's nice to get out of this mess every once in a while. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, where I live is very similar to where I grew up. I grew up in a little town in Miami called Coral Gables, and this is very similar where I'm at here. It reminds me very much of when it was like when I was growing up. It's not like that anymore, but what it was like when I was growing up. This is a kind of like every day a reminder of how nice it was for me as a child. It's really awesome. The only thing I miss is the saltwater canals. We have saltwater canals there in Coral Gables. We don't have anything like that around here. We got water, but not saltwater.
You got lots of horses up there too.
Yes, we've got lots of horses, and my dog goes nuts when he sees them. He just doesn't know how to behave himself when he thinks it's a big dog or something. And,
you got to stay away from those guys. You get kicked in his face.
Yeah, easily. Put him out in a heartbeat. Yeah, that's one of the things that I enjoy is we do go walking in the equestrian area, and it's quiet most of the time. And we see a lot of horses. Some of them are very friendly. Some of them come right up, and I have to hold him by the collar because he gets a little excited. And it's awesome to see these animals out here. It's really amazing. Yeah, so the only thing I miss is the saltwater canals. As a kid, we used to go fishing in the canals, and my goodness, anything that you found out in the bay, you'd find in the canals. Porpoises, we saw porpoises in the canals. We saw barracuda, grouper, snapper, just about anything. Anything that was in the bay was in the canals. Snook?
Yeah, it's not like that anymore, unfortunately. The canals are so polluted that there's not much life in them anymore.
Yeah, it's sad. I saw them about 4 years ago, and it broke my heart. Almost in tears, looking down at the water, and water used to be relatively clear. It's not even close to being clear. It's just lucky, sad. Sad that we don't take care of the thing that our bodies are 75% water, right? And we don't take care of the water around us, and that's going to have an effect on us.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, I got one other quick question. I just wondered how's Jakey doing?
Jake is doing awesome. He had his port removed about 2 weeks ago, which is like the final straw. That means the treatment is over. The cancer was won, and we're moving on.
Amen.
So he's doing awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Great. And we appreciate you calling in today. And can you give us one more time if someone wants to dial you like today or tomorrow and order some fish or order fish from your website? Do you have a number they can call you?
It's actually go straight to the website. Everything's self-explanatory. It can take you right to the page that you need to order the product that you want. And it's blueseasfreshfish.com.
Awesome.
Yeah,
appreciate
you
being on today.
Yep. Thank you, my friend.
Awesome. Nice talking to you guys. Have a good one.
God bless you. Wish you an awesome day. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Oh, Joe, say hi to the family and hope to see you out there soon. I got to get some bait one of these days.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you. Take care.
Okay, later.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. A couple of different ways you can listen to us. We try to make it as easy as possible. The easiest of all of those ways is if you have an Android, you can download our app. It's absolutely free. There are no push notifications. There's no ad, no spyware, none of that stuff. It's just a way to listen to our network. The app is available on most of the major stores. If you look up WCET FM, you can find it there. If you have the TuneIn app, if you have the TuneIn app, you can find us at Marina Rock Radio. Big thank you to Marina Rock for allowing us to utilize their airwaves. Marina Rock Radio on the TuneIn app. So if you have that, that's another way you can listen to us. If you are a Facebook fanatic, which that is slowly dying by the wayside, but if you're still on Facebook, we do have a link on Facebook. If you go to Fishing in Florida Show and click on Contact Us, another way that you can listen to us. And if you are someone who is on the World Wide Web, you can go to our home network, which is www.wcetfm.com. And that's another way that you can listen to us. So we try to make it as easy as possible because we love you people so very much. And I am so grateful that you take the time to allow me to share with you Sunday mornings while you're sitting around having coffee or discussing what you're going to do for the day. It is an honor and a privilege, and I mean that. So my co-host this morning, that's Carolyn. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. And what I say about Carolyn is if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. She offers a wide variety of ways that you can protect your personal goods. And started out by offering tracking equipment, but it's gotten to encompass a whole heck of a lot more. Is that right, Carolyn?
Absolutely. You know what we did? We had so many people asking us for safety equipment that we started reaching out to vendors. We now handle life rafts, emergency beacons. If your boat gets wet or starts sinking, it notifies the Coast Guard. Electronics. We can do bilge pumps. We could do anything marine, which is great because now customers come to us for one-stop shopping.
Well, speaking about one-stop shopping, if you're looking for tackle, I think we have our next guest on, and that's Trae. Trae's with Big Dog Tackle, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on over there. Are you there?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, Trae. I'm surprised you're even up today. For our listeners, Trae fished a big sailfish tournament yesterday, so he probably was up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we were definitely up early, and the weatherman, you can't trust that guy.
He's like a politician, right?
Yeah. So the weatherman was predicting like 6-foot seas, but it was like 1 to 2.
Oh, wow.
Choppy with, like occasional 3s in there, but definitely fishable and a beautiful day. And I think the weatherman actually scared a lot of people to stay home. So there weren't that many boats out yesterday, and it actually turned out to be a beautiful day. The sun was out. It wasn't too cold and it wasn't too hot, and it was just right.
The last couple of days here, we've had a few days that are just, it's almost like being in air conditioning outside. It's just so amazingly comfortable. I don't know about where you're at. I guess maybe closer to the water, maybe a little warmer than out here. We're a little cooler out here, but it's been like 70 degrees literally like being in air conditioning out here with the sun coming down on you. So I can't imagine how sweet it was out there, especially after the weatherman lied to you about, about what's going on. So how was it? How did it go?
Oh, it went great. We were out there, and it was kind of a little bit of a slow bite, and then we moved around a little bit, and we finally got a sailfish bite. And we actually, before we saw the sailfish bite, we saw a sailfish free jumping in about 100 feet of water. And we said, okay, let's stop here and see what's going on. And we set up, and we ended up catching a sailfish and a couple of dolphin, a couple of mahi, and we did a couple of drifts. We ended up with 2 sailfish, which I think we're tied for the tournament lead with the 2 sailfish. I think we got beat out on time because when you tie in sailfish, they go by who caught the sailfish first. So that's how they determine the winners. And but ultimately, it was a great day on the water, and there was, the reports are some nice wahoo were caught yesterday. A lot of dolphin in shallow, 150 to 200 feet.
Wow.
And we were fishing around Del Rey, Boynton Beach area. And I think anywhere between Boca and West Palm, there was some nice mahi being caught shallow. So very good day to be out there fishing. I think a lot of people missed out because of that weatherman.
We'll have to.
Well, and so here's what's something funny is Trae said, remind him to bring his Atlas Trax tracker with him. And yesterday when he was out, I gave him a quick text. I said, what's the chance you have your tracker? He said, no, it's on my desk at the Big Dog Tackle Store.
Yeah, it was on my desk with the rubber bands and the rigging needles and.
Oh my goodness!
That's the importance of having a checklist when you're going fishing, and I forgot my checklist.
Wow.
And for our listeners that might not have heard you before, Trae, too, in the past. So Trae owns Big Dog Tackle in Pompano Beach. So not only was he fishing the tournament yesterday, he was hosting tournament parties all last week and providing the anglers and boats with any of the gear that they needed. So he's a 7-day-a-week local family business again and decided to go fish the tournament.
That is a man who's committed.
I got to sneak out for a day of fishing.
Yeah. Commitment. That's what it's all about. It's either you are committed or you're going to be committed. One of the two is going to come up sooner or later. Oh, my goodness. So you said mahi. I heard mahi. I heard wahoo. I heard kind of a little bit of everything, huh?
Yeah, there was actually a really nice, a 38-pound kingfish caught.
Wow!
Out of off Jupiter Ledge yesterday in the tournament, so that was a really nice. So pretty much all the fish are biting out there. I saw some tunas as well. Some tunas were caught.
So who ended up winning?
We're going to find out today at the captain's meeting. I don't think there was a final tally yet, but there's not the captain's meeting, but the awards parties at 26 Degree Brewing on Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. I believe that's at 1:00 for the Offshore Anglers of Pompano Beach Sailfish Tournament. So, yeah, we'll go find out over there. But there were 3 teams that caught 2 sailfish, which topped the leaderboard, and then there were ones, and then some boats didn't catch any sailfish, and it was mainly a sailfish tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think a decent-sized kingfish was caught by another one of our customers, Smile Maker. I believe that was a 37 Freeman. And you know what? We have a Shaughn calling in after, so I know you're fun fishing kind of against him, and he does great things with Offshore Angler Pompano Beach. So you guys work hand in hand, which is pretty amazing about you guys.
Yeah, we saw them driving by when we were out there fishing. Yeah, no, definitely a good crew out there, and that's what it's about. I mean, I was out there with the meat wagon, Captain Tom Jones, and all the guys on the team, and I mean, just being out there with those guys is the most fun for me.
Was he singing for you while you were out there? I couldn't help it.
She's a lady.
Funny stuff. Hey, so Trae, I know you're heavy into charities and things. Have you done any recent charity events? You got any coming up soon? I know you're so big in helping the community.
Well, actually, I don't know if you heard about that big swordfish that was caught. I mean, I don't know if it qualifies as a charity event, but the kids that caught that fish they donated a lot of swordfish to give away. So we decided to do a little party at the store last week, and we ended up, setting up a tent. We had Chef Eric come out, grill up all the swordfish, and we were giving out swordfish sandwiches to the community. Anybody that showed up.
Wow. So I didn't know it was kids.
Big hats off to the kids that caught that fish and for the phenomenal job for the new Florida state record, and those 4, one of them being our assistant store manager. So
wow.
They did a great job.
So how big was the swordfish?
767 pounds.
I remember it was 700 something. Yep. That is unbelievable.
Yeah. And Rascala, they fought that fish for over 5 hours.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
And they can bring it back in and cut them up and share them. Don't hide it, divide it. I love it. That's great. That's awesome.
That's it. I like that. I like that saying.
Me too. I think we're gonna have to use that.
Especially to all my friends that catch fish while I'm working all the time.
Well, if it weren't for people like you who provided the appropriate tackle, they wouldn't be able to do what they're doing either. So it's kind of a one hand works with the other kind of thing, right?
For sure. For sure.
All right, my friend. Well, we're slowly winding down to the next break, but before we do that, I want to give you an opportunity to share with us anything else that you'd like before we go.
Yeah, I mean, I just get out there and go fishing. The weather's great. The fish are biting. We're getting close to springtime fishing. Usually March, April tend to be some of the best months of fishing. A lot of people are going over to the Bahamas and catching wahoo. Pretty soon you're going to have that yellowfin bite over there. You do have to get the COVID test before you go over there, but you can get over there, and it's pretty easy. We actually have a guy that comes to your house and does it for $35. You get the results the next day. So
wow.
Don't let that stuff stop you from going fishing.
Wow, that's excellent.
A great thing to know. And folks, mentioning that, how would folks get your number for the store? Can you give out your number for the store, the address, and your hours so they can come down if they need to pick up some gear?
His hours are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Almost. Pretty much all waking hours we're open. We open at 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day except Sunday. We close 2 hours early at 6 o'clock. And we're in Pompano Beach at 1440 North Federal Highway. And our phone number is 954-933-7587. If anybody has a question or wants to get a fishing report, they're more than welcome to call anytime. And then we're also on the web, like you guys, at www.bigdogtackle.com, and we have our online store up and running.
Hot dog.
And how about your Facebook page? Tell our listeners your Facebook page.
Yeah, we have Instagram and Facebook, Big Dog Tackle. And go check us on those pages. We post a lot of our updates and upcoming events on there. So that's probably the best place to get information.
Excellent. All right, my friend. Well, a great big thank you. And while I have I have Shaughn, I think, on with us right now. Let me give Shaughn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and you can say goodbye to him as well.
All right.
Go ahead, Shaughn.
What's going on, Shaughn?
Hey, big dog, Trae West. Good to hear
What's up?
On. Oh, not much, man. Drinking a good cup of coffee, relaxing.
Long day of fishing out there yesterday.
Oh, tell me about it. I was awake by 2:33, still rigging. I'm back home by 7:30 and asleep, and I just woke
My
up.
goodness.
Yeah, I think I crashed at 7:30 myself.
Shaughn asked me for a personal wake-up call today, which I did.
Oh, my God. There was a time I could do that. I can't do that anymore. I've gotten up into the years now. My mind says I can do it. My body says, you just try that, pal. Watch what happens. I'll be out like a light.
Hey, Carolyn, that might be a new service you can provide. Personal wake-up calls for fishermen to get up early.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, a lot of my customers in the morning will call me or text me and say, take me off the messaging for the day. We don't want messages. So I get those calls every day, every tournament time. So
wow.
Absolutely. And for our listeners that don't know the two of you guys, so Trae owns Big Dog Tackle. Shaughn is Offshore Angler Pompano Beach, and the two of them work so close together, planning tournaments, hosting parties locally here in Pompano Beach area. So you guys are an awesome team.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much.
All right,
yeah,
Trae.
So Shaughn, tell us about your day. Trae, if you want to hang, you can hang. If you got to get back to the store, but Shaughn, tell us about your day fishing yesterday in the tournament, the offshore angler tournament.
Oh man, it was great. We had about 15 teams come out. Some pretty good teams. That rolled on out. I started the day out probably around, like I said, around 2:30 because I just had some last minute rigging to do, and it took us some time. And by the time I got out, you got to get your bait in the morning, and make sure that it all looks good. Then you have to get to your point. And our foundations and our the offshore anglers of Pompano tournaments are usually they're not bimini starts, so they're gentlemen's lines in. So you can get to the point that you're trying to go to, and then you can get your lines in on time. It's all about being gentlemen when it comes to fishing and ethical fishing and doing everything correctly. Well, we started out with thinking, according to the weather, that it was 8 to 10 on solid on max swells, but average 4 to 6. It was pretty nice when we came out that inlet. I'm thinking maybe 2.5. So we were pretty psyched by that. So we got to our point. We could not find a sail to save our lives. And I mean, multiple changes, based on, the sea conditions, the color, and the bite. I mean, no problems. There is a lot of dolphin out there, I can tell you that. From between 250 to 150. I was going back, and I was the committee boat. So which is over some chatter, monitoring multiple different channels. People were catching dolphin all up and down, from Hillsborough to Boynton, all the way down to Government Cut. Wow. I would probably easily say, 20 to 30 dolphin were caught. So it was a busy day for dolphin, but this is a sailfish tournament, so you can't catch the fish that you want when you want to, which really.
That's why they travel in schools.
Yeah, right. And if you get into them, you need to have all your lines in to do double and triple releases, and I think that is the key right there, is to get as many as you can at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some of the Calcutta, but we were still pushed out of the money. But man, what a fun day! The sun was out; it was a blast. It got a little bit chillier later on in the day, but it was well worth it getting out on the water all day long.
Yeah, that was unusual. I did notice that about yesterday. As it got closer to around 4 or 5 o'clock, it started to get cool real quick. And but the day was a gorgeous day. It wasn't a hot day. It wasn't a cold day. It was just just right. And
yeah, I mean, I don't know if we've actually met in person, but I'm brown, and my heritage is Panamanian. But man, out in that sun, I was burnt. I mean, I had a sunburn, so I usually don't burn. I just turned straight more brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a good day. It's a nice sun was out.
Yeah, I don't use sunblock. I never have used sunblock or suntan lotion, none of that stuff. And normally when I go out there, I come back and I get darker, darker than I already am. Yeah. So I've been there, done that. I understand what you're saying about that. That's it is a gorgeous day today. I don't know what to make of it. We're getting some reports that it's not quite as rough as I read off from the NOAA. NOAA's got small craft warnings out for today. Carolyn says it's pretty rough, right? Carolyn, it's pretty rough out there in what you're seeing?
Yeah, I was just cheating on one of those beach cams. It looked like it was about 2-3 footers just breaking on the sand. So it's a little bit probably messier than yesterday.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know what to make of it. And then who was saying that the weatherman was a liar? Was that Trae?
I think Trae said the weatherman was a liar.
Yeah, because Friday they said the same thing, and then Will Kelleher from Miss Michelle gave me a report, and it was slick with just large rollers at 11 seconds. He said it was beautiful out on Friday.
So hey, they could be pulling another fast one today. Who knows? You
never know.
Maybe one of those things where if you really want to go fishing, you just have to go out there and look for yourselves and see what's happening. So it sounds like you guys did pretty good. How do you think you rated in the Trae says you won't know until later today, I think. But how do you think you rated?
Yes. It's good turnout. A lot of fish were caught. 8 sails were released.
Wow.
Most of the first sail, if I remember correctly, wasn't caught until literally 10:30 in the morning. Which I normally they're caught before 8 a.m.
Yeah.
At least the first
Yeah.
So we had 8 sales released, a bunch of. So we're going to have all of the results, the catches by boat, listed up on Facebook on our website, and then all the money that we've actually generated and raised. This is one of the tournaments in which we do 7 or 8 a year, and we take a portion of every tournament that we have, and we put it toward the Chasing Tails tournament up in Jupiter with Summer Warren, and the Naked Warrior tournament for the military, for the Navy SEALs and their families that lost loved ones in active duty, and to help them out every year. So this is the beginning. This is the first one of those tournaments where we plan on donating with support for the Chasing Tails between $5,000 to $8,000 this year, and the Naked Warrior another $5,000.
Wow.
And we this from our members and from the people that come out and do these tournaments with us. And that's the only way we could. If we didn't have the support from our members and their friends and families that come out to the awards and stuff, we wouldn't be able to give that kind of support to those 501c charities that they do for all these kids in military. So it was worth it for what we raised.
Well,
right, and for our listeners, this is another gentleman local in the area that's raising money and doing all this volunteer work and tournaments and planning in his spare time around working full time. So it just shows you how much the local fishing community really kicks back and steps up. And Shaughn, you and Trae and all the things that you guys do are pretty amazing out of the just kindness of your heart for helping other people.
That's what it's all about. It's bringing this community together, which is Pompano is one of the hugest fishing communities I've ever seen. And it's we're still have, I would say, 10 to 12 members joining every week. And we're talking from Plantation and Miramar all the way up to Boynton down to, past Aventura. And I would just want to say to all of them, thank you so much for coming out and giving me all the feedback that how well we've been doing up here.
That's awesome. So you mentioned 2 of the charities that you give to. One of them was Chasing Tails. We've had Summer Warren on, and she's told us about the tournament that she puts on. The other one was, what was it? Something to do with veterans?
On the Navy SEALs. Yes, that's called the Naked Warrior. Naked Warrior organization. The Naked Warrior Project is actually what it's called, and that's what they do. Is they're based out of, I think, Lighthouse Point in Pompano, and they do runs to raise money, and they do one fishing tournament every year. And we come on just as a strong supporter because we have so many members that are military that are part of our club, and it was literally a no-brainer to ask them if they'd be interested in when we have some of these events to donate and come out and purchase some raffle items in order to have some money to go toward them. And what they do is they've usually had either a mother or a father that died killed in action in duty, that are Navy SEALs in general, and the money that they raise is for their families, for the mothers or for the fathers and their children to help them out, every year. And as first of all, to even lose someone that's a part of your parental unit in a kind of it changes your entire dynamic of how a child is raised is very important because once that changes and you can't get the support from a father or for a mother or 2 parents, it doesn't matter if it's 2 fathers or 2 mothers, that doesn't really matter. The point is that you need that unit in order to show how children are raised and have be the caliber of a man or a woman to when you grow up. And it's very important. So thank God that we do have Holly and John Owens from the Naked Warrior Project doing this for all of them.
Okay, so I'll reach out to you after the show if you don't mind, and you can give me the contact for them, and I'll have them on the show as well.
Perfect. Yeah, they're great people.
Yeah, because it's another area of my life that I'm passionate about. Veterans, my fellow brothers in arms. Sometimes things don't go well for us, and we need all the help we can get. At 22 a day, so we need all the help a day that we can get. So I appreciate that, my friend. God bless you. I think I stepped on Carolyn there. Were you going to say something, Carolyn? I apologize.
No, that's okay. I was just enjoying the chit chat, but I want to see what's upcoming for Shaughn because he always has a roster of. Let us know if the Offshore Angler Pompano Beach Club is meeting again. How would someone reach out to you to join the club so they can be part of all of these family fishing tournaments you're doing? I mean, there's so much that you do.
Yeah, we have some upcoming events. We have our Southern Kingfish and Angler Armory sanctioned OAPB Kingfish Mackerel tournament coming up on February 27th, and that's going to be held at the Sands Harbor Resort and Marina. We'll have all kinds of prizes going on, and this is the kickstart of both of those fishing clubs, the SKA and Angler Army. So all the teams in our area from even farther than West Palm Beach, anyone that's Zone 10 or Division 10 or Zone 3 of those will be traveling all the way down here to Pompano Beach in order to fish this first kickoff tournament and bring their points up on the board because we're all competitive. None of us are friends during the tournament, but we're all friends afterwards. That's what it's all about.
Well, hey, I'm going to interrupt you for a second, too, because you're all friends at the captain's party, too.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, we're all friends at the captain's party, and then recovering that Friday, because you need that extra day to recover to make sure, and then we compete against each other, and then we have your awards, and it's all camaraderie. That's what this fishing club's about, is building friendships that you normally would not be able to, because you wouldn't run into each other and just kind of walk up and hey, because you would not even know who they are. Now you have hundreds of boats that are traveling up and down the ICW fishing, and that you're starting to recognize, which is what was my goal from the beginning, and it's been working out that way.
Wow.
So yeah, we have that coming up, and I think we have our Dolphin Brawl coming up in April, and then we actually bring all of our members out on an international trip. So we're going to be bringing them to Cabo San Lucas when they register up in July. We have Obahama Bay. We'll be bringing and doing the triple threat tournament over in Obahama Bay and West End. And we have Costa Rica trip coming up again in May 1st for some of our members. So it's a fun trip. But yeah, you can join. Just go online to offshoreanglerspompanobeach.org to register, or you can do our Facebook. You can register from there. And we have our foundation as well that gives a little bit more information on the Naked Warrior Project and Chasing Tails. If you go to the foundation, the 501c website is which is oapbff.org.
So, Shaughn, can people donate money even just during the year through your website, or it has to be around a local fishing tournament? So can someone just go to your website and donate?
Oh, yeah. You just go to www.oapbff.org, and it gives you everything about us, and you can donate right then and there. It's 501c status, so you'll get a receipt that you can put toward your taxes. And like I said, then we also have links to our club and everywhere else. But yeah, year round, we love donations. Especially with all this stuff that's going on. 501cs have the hardest time, generating those funds for what they want to do for the projects that they're handling. So any help is greatly appreciated. That's for sure.
Yeah, especially with what's going on with this crazy virus.
Yeah. We are starting a Swordfish Daytime Series this year. I think May 1st is our first Swordfish count. And we're doing that along with Trae and Big Dog Tackle. We got I think it's 5 or 10% of everything we generated is going toward the Mission Fishing, which is RJ Boyle's part of his his organization does, raises a lot of funds for those kids. So RJ Boyle is going to be part of that those series as well. So we're expected to bring in a lot of swords to the scales. Oh, and this is a new thing too, is that those swordfish will now be weighed at the Sands Harbor Resort and Marina, because we'll be setting up a support system, because we want to get our community being able to get up over onto the Sands Harbor and see these large fish in person up close. And they have a lot of room for boats to raft up. So we're excited to work with Sands Harbor on this.
That is nice.
And then what do you do in your spare time?
He doesn't have any spare time.
Structural engineer. I also do FP&L engineering, believe it or not. So any spare time I have, I put toward toward the club and toward the foundation and raising money with support for other 501cs. So, but you know what? That's what I like, and that's what I like to do. And so to me, I get a lot of love into myself, doing that.
Right, and for our listeners, Shaughn has a beautiful little daughter that's hooked on fishing. And how old is she, Shaughn?
She's 6 years old.
Wow.
There was a video Shaughn posted not too long ago, and she was looking off her dock, and she saw a bunch of fish. And you know what? Well, with your permission, maybe we could post it on our Facebook page for the radio show. And she sees fish, and
awesome.
She gets so wound up, she starts screaming at Shaughn to get her fishing rod. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah, she can't take her eyes off the fish, because if she does, they'll be gone. And so I have to go run and get her gear together and bait it up, and so she can toss it out.
Oh,
but
that's
you know what?
amazing.
That's the future of fishing is our kids. So
There
to
you
me,
go.
you know, seeing them slide up, oh
Yep.
my God.
Yep.
I don't know what to say.
Yep, I have I have grandkids. Let me just put it that way. I got a lot of grandkids, and it's amazing. Some of the stuff that comes out of their mouth sometimes is amazing. It's just and some of the things that they do is knocks me off my rocker. Oh my gosh! So I can imagine her sitting out there looking at the fish while you're going to grab her stuff, so she doesn't lose sight of them. Oh Lord, yeah. If you can share that, if we can share that, that'd be great, because that's really is what we're looking forward to. That's our future. That's what we're going to see there. That's what is going to take care of us as we get older. They're not going to be kids for the rest of their lives, guys. I'm telling you, it's going to come as a shock one day.
You raise these children and kids with ethical fishing and being a good caliber of a human being, you can change the world. You really can.
It's a nice foundation. You know? I was saying it's a nice foundation. It's a nice way to build responsibility and teach children about our environment and how important our environment is. And I've always believed that it's easier to bring a child up correctly than try to fix somebody's broken as an adult. It's a heck of a lot easier, you know.
That's 100% true, and I have to tell you, even when Trae was talking about the kids catching the swordfish and the party that they had in the parking lot, well, Shaughn was there, I was there, there were a lot of kids there. We were playing any of the cornhole games, you know. It was just
cool.
nice. I mean, there was probably what, Shaughn, 80 people there, social distancing, all just at least saying hi to everybody.
Yeah, it was great. A lot of kids, older generations too. Your next gen anglers. It was great. Not only that, just the fact that the kids came out and filleted that sword and brought so much of that 767-pound swordfish to that event, so that everyone could have a taste of that swordfish was awesome.
that is, you know what that reminds me of is. Lynn, I can't think of her name. Stephanie Lynn. She's a young lady we've had on a couple of times. She's out in Bimini now, I think, but she visits the islands and she goes spearfishing, and then whatever she harvests, she comes back to the island, whoever's living on the islands, and shares it with them. And I thought that was really awesome. That's what that reminds me of. You know, they caught this beautiful fish, and they come back and harvest it, and instead of hiding it, they're dividing with everybody. That's great.
Yep.
And not to mention, I think the average age on that boat was what? Correct me if I'm wrong, Shaughn. Where age 21 and below.
Wow.
Yeah, 17 to 21.
Wow.
And there was only 4 of them.
Well, so I think they took turns fighting this thing. I can't imagine one person fighting this thing for 5 hours.
That's a good question. I don't know what the rule is for making it a state record, but I'm going to guess it probably was one. And I think it was an electric reel that broke down, so they had to hand crank it anyways.
Wow. Oh, Lord. Now, can you imagine, how did they get that thing into the boat?
Well, we got the pictures.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I think they had, which is a local, I don't know, charter captain or whatever, just happened to be hearing everything on the radio. And if I remember correctly, they asked for a little bit of help because that's a big fish, right?
You're kidding.
And I think their container is probably, a 27 or a 28 container to get into that boat. And I think is either his handle or something was his bones came over and helped them out. And he said without their help, they wouldn't have been able to pull that beast into the boat.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'll have to tell you another story too. That kid does have one of our Atlas Trax trackers on the boat, and his dad called me, as it was getting later in the afternoon, because he didn't have access to a computer. So I was able to feed him some maps. But he said, yeah, the kids are on a swordfish. Don't know how long it's going to be. And I said, well, here they are. If you need to go get them, this is where they are. So that was kind of cool.
How neat is that now? Wow. Like I said, that technology just knocks me out. You know, and all the data that you can get from that is just truly amazing. All right, my friend, we're getting ready to take a break. Anything else you'd like to share with us? I want to say thank you for what you do. Thank you for donating to these causes because, again, it's just testimony to what I've been saying. The fishing community, I'm sure in other places as well, but since I'm here in South Florida, I just want to give them all the credit they deserve, and the fishing community really does reach out and does an awesome job. So thank you, my friend. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you, and then we'll go ahead and take a break. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Yeah, absolutely, Shaughn. I'll try and get over to the awards today if I can, but I appreciate you getting up after a long day yesterday and calling in and telling our listeners about everything you do.
Oh, it was great. Thank you so much for letting me call in, and thank you for the wake-up call.
No problem. You have a great day, Tightline.
All right, you too, Tightline.
Caleb. You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show on WCETFM.com.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day. It just calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah, fishing in Florida.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida show. And if you have missed out anything on this morning, you can catch up by finding our archives. And they will be listed. There will be a link on our Facebook page. If you go to our Fishing in Florida Facebook page, you will find a link to the archives, which are actually on YouTube. Several different ways you can listen to us. A big thank you to Marina Rock Radio out of Miami. They allow us to use their airwaves. If you have the TuneIn app, you can find us on Marina Rock Radio through the TuneIn app. If you're on the web, WCETFM.com. If you have an Android, you can go to any of the popular stores and look up WCETFM and download our app. There's no spyware. There's no adware. There are no push notifications. Just an easy way to listen to our network. All right, let me get back to my co-host, which is Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax. Welcome back.
Thank you, Riscala.
And I believe we have Mike Simko. Mike Simko's with kitefishing.com. We spoke a little bit. We had kind of a mention about kite fishing earlier in the show. And if you want to know about kite fishing, if you want to, what did they say, flatten the curve? When we had the virus, they wanted to flatten the curve, the learning curve. If you want to flatten the learning curve about kite fishing, this is the man to talk to. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Riscala. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you guys?
Great, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, doing great. I'm actually, we're waiting for this little second cold front to push through on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's going to be exciting times, hopefully.
That's going to mean more sailfish action?
It, if history repeats itself, when the cool fronts push through and the cold fronts push through, it gets the activity, sail fishing, just right up there. So, yeah, that's the time that most of us that do kite fish for sales really look forward to.
Have you done any fishing this last week?
Yeah, we now if you recall, we've been doing this show a long time, right? So in between sail fishing trips, which sailfish season is really November to, let's just say, March, April, that's the prime of it. In between sail trips, when the weather calms down, the sword fishing off of South Florida becomes incredible. So, yeah, I did a couple good sword trips, and we put some big ones in the boat.
And where did you go out of?
So I go out of Palm Beach,
Okay.
right out of the Lake Worth Inlet, and our area right off of Palm Beach is about 15, 16 miles offshore, and it's really been incredible. We had a sail fishing tournament start in the beginning of the month, and let's just say the early part of January, and like most times when the weather changes, as I was saying, these cold fronts rip through here. It gets really rough. It's too rough to swordfish, but in between, the weather slicks off, and when you can get off that far offshore and you have the gear to go sword fishing, it gets incredible. So this is a great time of year. If the sailfish are hot, you're fishing inshore. When it cools off and slows down a little bit, you go offshore, and really some big females are out there right now. There was a 760. Go ahead.
I was going to say, did you hear about the 767 pounder?
Yeah, and I remember being on the show and telling you about the one that we fought for 19 hours before we pulled the hook. So there's just some mongos out there, and that 767 was incredible. I mean, if you saw the pictures of that fish, it's just epic.
Gosh.
Right, and what's so cool about that particular family is all the kids are less than 21 years old, and they usually fish, the Kingfish tournament. And Hunter Irving, it was his boat. He's a young man. He's been fighting cancer almost all of his life, so it's awesome that he caught that fish.
Oh my gosh, I love those guys. I mean, it's funny. The name of their boat, their family boat, is Young Guns, as you know, and we've been fishing against the Young Gun fishing team like from the early 2000s. So Lance, the father, was the Young Guns. And I think he always had his kids in mind as he was developing that team.
Well, I have to tell you a funny story. Both of the boats have the Atlas Trax trackers on them, right? And initially they were both on one account. But what happened was the guys in the store for his rental company could log on and see where Hunter was fishing, that they would go piggyback and fish wherever he was. So what happened was Lance, the father, said, "Now put Hunter on a separate account. I don't want anyone to know where he is but me. I don't want anyone poaching his fishing spots." So Lance even called me that day when he was fighting that fish just to make sure, how many miles offshore he was. I thought that was kind of a hoot.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Great story.
Yeah. Good guys. And you know what they did? They donated most of the fish to a local fishing tackle store, Big Dog Tackle here in Pompano. We had a huge parking lot party. All the fish was given away. Everyone ate. Everyone had fun. So that they totally donated the fish out for food.
Awesome stuff.
Well, that's a great point because when you bring in a fish like that, let's just estimate 40%, 40 to 50% is really meat weight. So you have over 300 pounds of meat to give away.
That's a lot of fish.
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
My freezer won't handle that.
So, Mike, you're a big kite fishing guy. So there was a tournament at Ocean Reef this last couple of days, and believe it or not, I just found out there was no kite fishing allowed. Why would they have a tournament for sailfish with no kite fishing?
It's I think that a lot of tournaments will do different formats. For example, I haven't really heard of a tournament prohibiting you from doing a certain type of fishing, but I've heard no live bait in some tournaments. Sometimes it's more advantageous to troll, even if you're trolling a live ballyhoo, which is difficult to fish from a kite. But, I think some of these tournaments, they're trying different formats. I really don't know the reason for that one. That's surprising to me. I thought there would be kites allowed, especially the Ocean Reef tournament. A lot of those guys do fish kites out of there.
Yeah, it was no kites and only 4 lines. That's what someone told me, and I thought that was kind of odd.
Yeah, the 4-line part of it is interesting because, the Silver Sailfish Derby limits to 4 lines too. And what it does is it allows some of the smaller boats that are limited in number of crew to be able to manage better. And it's interesting because, you look at some of these teams now, even a center console boat can have 10 guys on it, all working in coordination. We've talked about this before. Everybody has a specific job, although everybody can do everybody's job. So it's just like a special forces group, out there. If you can fly a kite, maybe it's still not your job. You don't touch the kite. But again, 4 lines does allow smaller boats to compete. And you've seen the numbers in the Sailfish Derby over the years. 4 lines doesn't really limit you on how many fish you can catch.
I guess it kind of levels it out, right? Because
it does. It makes it a little easier for, again, a team of 4 guys or a couple that just wants to have some fun in the tournament to manage.
Right.
I can see that.
So what do you have coming up for tournaments coming up in the Palm Beach area?
Well, we got the next Jamie Bunn tournament, the Blue Water Movement tournament are coming up. I believe that's I don't really know the date, but I think it's coming up in the next 2 weeks. But there's a tournament. It's funny you say that because, again, the Derby kind of kicks off the serious tournament season. And it seems like years ago that we've already had that. It was only 3 weeks ago, but we've had, 1 or 2 different big tournaments every week since then. I'm sure that you heard that last weekend, Catch 23, Michael Jordan's boat won the Buck Cup.
I heard that.
That was a pretty impressive win. The fishing has been very tough. Again, it seems like although we've had cold fronts, they haven't pushed the main body of fish, or at least got them activated, in all that time. So that's why these last couple of fronts and maybe the ones that are coming after that are really exciting for us because nobody's really put up giant numbers. He won. Catch 23 won the tournament with 14 fish over two actual fishing days, 3 days of fishing, but 2 fishing days. The Derby top boat was 12 fish, and that's fishing hard for 2 days with teams that really know what's going on. So fishing hasn't been super hot, and we're waiting for it to happen.
Didn't we have reports of like 30 people catching 30 fish? Was it the week before last or something like that? Am I right, Carolyn, or maybe I got it confused?
Yeah, no, I think that 2 weeks ago, people were catching some pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
We know offshore angler Pompano Beach yesterday wasn't high in fish count. I don't know what the Ocean Reef count was, but sailfish, people are gunning for those right now. And I even think there was a decent king caught up in Palm Beach for this offshore angler tournament. We'll have to find out later, but I think they got the meat division.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and this is the time of year for big kings, really big kings to be moving through the area in South Florida. So, that just adds to the bucket list of really fish of a lifetime that you can catch this time of year down here. But like I said, we haven't seen giant numbers. I didn't see a 30 fish boat, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. Normally I hear about those things, but it's certainly possible.
So on a day like today, where we're supposedly now, I'm saying supposedly because one of our other guests said that the weatherman lied. He said it was going to be one way and it wasn't. So, but on a day like today where we're having these small craft advisories are out there, so I guess it's blowing pretty good. If you're in a situation where you could utilize a kite, would you utilize a kite on a day like today when it's real windy? Could you use a kite?
Absolutely. I have some friends out from my marina that are out right now. And, you know, small craft advisories need to be taken seriously, except at certain times. Really, what it's indicating is that the seas are really big. There are big gusts of wind, but it's funny how wind and currents affect things. There's a big groundswell offshore right now. Yesterday, for example, they were calling for 3 to 5s with occasional 7s, which is pretty rough. But my friends that went out in small boats, particularly out of the Palm Beach Inlet, which is big, wide, and deep, it was easy for them to get out. Once they got offshore, of course, on the beach, the surfers were having an epic day, but it was just a big rolling sea, and it was very fishable. They're back at it today, a little 29 contender. So it's I'm not saying that it's just to be watched a little more carefully. And with some of the webcams and some of the surf cams, if you have access to some of those sites, turn those on the day before. Even though they're calling for big days, if you don't see whitecaps out there, it's probably fishable. So today is very fishable, and I'd fish 2 kites all day long here today and give sailfishing a shot, because again, these fish have to eat, and there's some sailfish here, and it's not unheard of to get decent numbers on a day like today. Although I'm going to wait for Tuesday and Wednesday and be offshore then.
So on a day like today, when it's pretty breezy out there today, how do you control your kite? How do you keep the kite stationary? Is that the word I'm looking for? How do you keep it in one area? How do you keep it from rolling from right to left? Again, I'm ignorant in this area, so.
Yeah, so that's a great question. What is amazing about these fishing kites today, especially from some of the bigger companies, and you can start with Tigris, Bob Lewis kites, SFBs, and Pearl kites, kind of in that order. They're made to fly in a very stable way, and that of course is relative to wind being consistent. Because once you adjust a kite to fly, if the wind were 15, let's just say it was 15 mile an hour wind and it didn't change at all, I'd bet my last dollar that kite will sit parked right in a spot in the sky. And that's the beauty of it. So that it's real easy to put your kite bait on through the clip and the bait sits right stable. But wind is never that static. It moves from 10 miles an hour to 15 and then sometimes 13. And so with those changes, and of course the adjustment of the kite being consistent, the kite will move a little bit, but it doesn't move a lot, particularly when you get good at tuning it, is what we call it. So here's what happens. I'll pull a kite out that I think matches the wind. So let's say the wind is 15 knots. I'll pull my general wind kite out, and I'll make an adjustment with it has a bridle adjustment on the kite. I'll make an adjustment. I will put some weights in the corner that I want the kite to kick. So if I want to kick right, I'll put weights, small little series of split shots on the right side. And the kite will turn to the right, and I get it about 50 feet from the boat, and I look at it. From that position, I could tell whether I've adjusted it to fly too low or too high. There's always a sweet spot in there. If it's not the way I want it, I pull it back in. I'll adjust that bridle adjustment again and send it out. Maybe it's still not the way I want it. I might pull it back again, pull off and this is all done very quickly. So don't think that this takes forever. This could take 45 seconds. get it back out. Maybe I pop one of the split shots off the corner. All those things work in combination with one another. And so this is the basics of it. If I pulled the right kite and I adjusted it right, it's going to go out there and be very stable, and we're not going to have that problem you discussed. And, that's, on a day like today, let's say where we have gusts of 25 miles an hour, I'll take a kite that allows more wind to pass through it. We call them 40-hole kites. They don't all have 40 holes, but some of them, they have a series of holes in them.
So that's how they do that. Okay.
Yeah, the holes allow the wind to pass through.
Yeah.
While still flying.
Wow. I know that you had told me there are different kinds of kites, but I was trying to envision it in my mind, but now I understand how they're getting it to do that.
You could really feel it in your hand, Riscala, when you're letting the kite out. If you have a kite that is designed for a lighter wind, let's say that's really blowing, you'll feel it. The tension in your hand, the braid that goes through your hand. I've had gusts go through that were really, I was lucky I had a glove on because, it grabs the kite and rips it so fast. With that braid going through your hand. But that's a very rare instance. And you'll know when that's coming because the wind conditions dictate that.
Wow. Well, I learned quite a bit. I didn't, that's why I enjoy having you on. You have no problem sharing your experience in decades, over a decade, right? Of experience doing this.
Yeah, I've been doing it for over 35 years. I remember my first kite. To get on a team way back then to get to fish that Pompano fishing rodeo, I had to kind of lie about my experience. So I told these guys, they were going, "Hey, you know how to fly kites?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, no problem." I ran, that night I ran out and bought my first kite, and unfortunately, I kind of revealed my lack of experience that day, but we learned fast. I learned fast under pressure.
And it's been a forward movement ever since, right?
Yeah, it's gotten better, and I learned that day, and I was really, I really loved doing that.
Yeah.
It became an obsession, as you know.
Wow. I'll tell you what, prior to you taking the time to literally teach me about kite fishing, I thought it was silly. I thought kites were for kids, that's how ignorant I was. And then having spoken with you over I don't know how many years we've been doing this now, I've learned quite a bit, and they can be ever so helpful. And if I remember right, it's 3, right? You can put up to 3 lines per kite?
Absolutely. I mean, the guys and the teams that, have the ability to manage that many kites, they will kick, remember that term I told you, they'll kick a kite far to the right, far to the left, with enough room in between them to put a kite dead center. And you can only do that because these kites are so stable that they don't move all around the water. They don't move all around the air and start to conflict with one another. So 3 is a great way to go, too. Imagine how many baits you can fish now.
9 baits out there, exponentially increasing the odds of you catching.
Right.
So, yeah, I've learned quite a bit, and I appreciate people like you who take the time to not hide the information inside, but to share it with other people. And I want to say thank you. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to call in and give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you. I wish you an awesome day, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael, tell our folks how they can go see some of your videos, because I know I've watched them, how they could, and also maybe get your product, your Kite Keeper. How can people reach out to you?
Thank you for asking. We, we're in the process of really upgrading my site. So kitefishing.com is it's I've got some information on there now, but we're upgrading as we speak. It's going to be a really informative site. You can find my YouTube videos by just simply typing in Mike Simko, Simko on YouTube, my channel. You can find kitefishing.com on the web, which has some videos that I rotate in every week. And Kite Fishing Experts on Facebook. So those are the 3 ways to get me. My number's on all of them. I'm very happy to help, as you said, Riscala. I think this fishing business that we're in would be is much better when people share information, because that flattening that curve is really the key.
Yep. All right, my friend.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was gonna say hope to see you and fish with you guys soon. I know Angelia from the Keys wants to come up one day, and we'll plan enough time for you to get us out and teach us how to fly a kite.
Really look forward to it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
I'm Caleb. You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show on WCETFM.com.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Listen and imagine. It takes 5 seconds to send a text, and for those 5 seconds, you're driving blind. Life is worth more than a text. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It just calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning. We are back. It is the Fishing in Florida show. This is the final segment. This morning, my co-host, Carolyn, with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to call? Carolyn and Atlas Trax. Welcome back.
Thank you, Riscala, and happy Sunday to everybody. It's a blue sky, not a cloud in the sky.
It was gorgeous when I woke up this morning. So if the rest of the day is going to be like that, it's just going to be amazing. And we have the one and only Florida Salty Cowgirl. I think she's down there in the Keys. Good morning, Miss Angelia.
I am. I'm in Alamorada this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Angelia.
How is everyone this morning?
Great. And I'm guessing you're not fishing today.
I am not. In perfect Keys fashion, I tied one on last night, and I'm a little bit slow this morning.
Well, you know what? Coming from you, tying one on could mean anything since you're such an avid fisher woman. So
that could be a shark. It could be.
Everyone can use their imagination. How's that?
Absolutely.
Oh,
hey, so I just invited you and I to go fishing with Mike Simko. He was on earlier. For
my
fishing,
gosh.
So.
Carolyn, that's so weird because as you and I have been talking about getting together, that was something I was going to try to add into that trip, like a trip with Mike and you and I do some business. And I'm so excited because I'm dying to kite fish with that man. That's awesome.
He just said, let him know when. So let's try and work that out in the next week and a half. And Angelia is trying to actually get up to here in Deerfield Beach area, and we're trying to finally hang out. So Scott will have to let you know how that works.
Yeah.
Talk that for us, Carolyn.
So
absolutely.
Tell me about any fishing going on last week.
I actually did a little traveling last week, and I sent you a picture, Riscala, because I had so much fun. I started my whole fishing life and career, seriously, on a headboat out of Clearwater Basin Marina, and I absolutely love it. And those guys stick around there for years and years and years, a lifetime of years, and I go down there and I was doing a little traveling around the Gulf Coast that my home stomping grounds last couple weeks. And so I wanted to go out there and go fishing. We go out and we are just socked in with fog all day long. It was cold. It was kind of dreary and wet and damp. And but on the way out, some of my old guys told me that the hogfish were biting really good for them. And I'm like, seriously? No way. Hogfish, they're not the easiest fish in the world to get to bite a hook, first of all. Typically, you would spearfish hogfish, but if you're going to fish for them with a hook, you need to use shrimp. And so I grabbed some shrimp that morning, and we headed out. And I hooked up just a really simple knocker rig shrimp and threw that baby out there on a spinning reel and left the bail open and just let it sit on the bottom. Anybody who knows anything about hogfish, that's pretty much how you've got to fish for them. And within seconds, you guys, I just reeled in like an 18-inch hogfish. I was so happy. So after a few of those and a nice keeper mangrove and a nice stringer of grunts, I got my fill for headboat fishing off the Gulf Coast. So anybody who's up there on the Central Gulf Coast, I highly recommend going out right now. Bottom fishing down here in the Keys right now has been a little bit tough. You know, it's not been as copious as it usually is. But up there in the Gulf Coast, man, it was hot. I had a really great time, even with the socked-in fog and the cold and the damp. But I just posted a picture this morning so you guys can see that I'm in a hoodie and my hair's wet. But I don't care about the weather. If the fishing's good, I'm there. And I'm down here in the Keys, and the sailfish are still going nuts down here, guys. I don't know. It's just one of those years. We got those cold fronts in early, pushed all those winter fish down to us. And down here right now, fishing for sailfish is like fishing in a barrel. I mean, you're going to catch sailfish as bycatch right now. It's that thick. It's just crazy. I've never seen a winter like this. So it's very exciting.
It's a little more sparse up here. The reports that we're getting anyway, it doesn't seem to be as abundant. They're here, but not like, seemingly not like what you are reporting. So, Carolyn, this picture that she sent me, the very first thing that stands out is this big, beautiful smile she's got on her face. She's holding up these two gorgeous fishes, right? But she's got this big smile. Every time I see this young lady holding a fish, she has just, you can tell she is just in heaven. With fishing, it is just amazing. So I appreciate that, Angelia. Yeah, the picture is awesome. Thanks.
I'd love to give updates. And by the way, guys, there's nothing more fulfilling than going out there and having a good, successful day of fishing, and it just totally works for me. That's my happy place. So, big smile is self-explanatory.
Well, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm sorry, but there's only one way to get bigger smile on your face, and we all know what that is.
Uh-oh.
I hate to tell you, the dolphin are running up here.
Oh yeah. No, I'm
maybe Mike will put us on some dolphin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year, like everybody knows, I completely admit it. When I can't catch something, I can't catch it. And last year, the dolphin just completely skunked me. I was catching them into the fall at the end of 2019. When they shouldn't have even been here, and I was still catching some. But come 2020, I couldn't catch a dolphin to save my life. I did not catch not one dolphin in the entire calendar year of 2020. So I have a feeling that the fish gods and the karmic sense of that is this year is going to be my lights out hot year. I should probably enter every dolphin ladies tournament that there is, because this is going to be my year for dolphins.
There you go. That's the attitude.
Let's do it. I'm in.
That's
totally
what we need
in.
right there. Not going to let them get away.
I'm praying that we've got this COVID thing under control, so we actually have our tournaments back on this year. Last year was a little bit heartbreaking. My little tournament circuit that I like to run, nothing went off because of the whole COVID quarantine. And we had 3 months of being shut down here. So I'm really praying that this year, the tournaments are all back on and everything's kind of like business as usual, because that's just a really, really good time. Anybody who's never entered a tournament, it's the camaraderie is just amazing. You'll meet so many new people. The networking is great if you have any type of business in the marine industry, but it's just a really good time. Really nice events that they put on down here. So anybody who's not entered a tournament, do one for fun. Do an affordable one for fun sometimes, because it's a really, really nice experience. And then fishing for competition, that never hurts either. You get a little more aggressive with your fishing at that point.
Well, there's a bunch of different tournaments that happen. When you're saying fishing for fun, the first thing that comes to mind for me is CCA of Florida. They put on a tournament, and I think they're predominantly on the other coast, but they put on a tournament that lasts for months, literally months. And one of the categories, believe it or not, while you're out there fishing, if you see some trash or stuff, you take it and you fill up a 5-gallon pail of it, and they put your name in for a raffle of, I don't know, you win some kind of cash prize. So if you want to do it for fun, that's a perfect example right there. CCA of Florida, I think, is the organization.
The lady who puts that on, who was on the show before, Riscala, is just inspiring. And that part of her tournament, adding that in to be entered into a drawing for a cash prize for picking up garbage while you're out there.
How awesome.
It's absolutely inspiring. If every tournament would do that, it would just help clean up our waters that much more.
Yeah.
And I encourage people to include that in their tournaments. Maybe we'll start throwing that in there as ideas for people, but that is just a very inspiring story, and I completely agree with that. That's just the best thing that she possibly could have done, because now you're having fun fishing, and you're picking up, and you can win a cash prize for picking up garbage out of the water. I mean, it's a win-win-win for everybody.
That's what, I mean, when you said fish for fun, that's what first thing that come to mind is that, because it goes on for months. If you happen to be one of the fortunate ones to catch one of the tagged fish, my gosh, the prizes are unbelievable. A truck, a boat, it's just, so you're out there fishing for fun, thinking, I may win $100 prize or something. And like I said many times, it's like the lottery. You may fish and get nothing, or you may fish and hit the grand prize. If you're one of those that happens to be a member and you catch one of these tagged fish, it could mean literally, I think they gave away a pickup truck, a trailer, and a boat one year as one of the prizes, all at one time. Not a pickup truck as a prize, not the trailer as a prize, and the boat as a prize. All in one package. They gave that away as one of the prizes one year. So it's amazing what they do. So yeah, for fun, that's what comes to mind. But you know what? If you want to have fun down in the Keys, I'd be looking you up. You'd be the one to take me out.
Yeah, let's talk about you, Angelia. Your boat where is your port? If someone was coming in to do a vacation, are you out of Key Largo? Or are you out of Islamorada?
I'm out of Islamorada in Tavernier Creek, and I've been, fishing those fisheries right in that area for almost 10 years now. Gosh. And them very, very well. And I'm kind of a creature of habit. I always think that if it's not broke, don't fix it. Although I like to throw some new techniques and new things in here and there, or explore some new areas. But I've been so consistent with the areas and my personal technique that I just kind of stick with it. And I usually do pretty darn good. I mean, down here, the fishing is just good year round, so you really can't beat it. And I've been raving for the last couple of months, which usually doesn't happen till like January, February. But the winter fishing is my absolute favorite time of year. We did get those few cold fronts in early this year that pushed all those winter fish down to us. The wahoo, the kingfish, the sailfish, blackfin tuna are year round down here, so you can always catch those. But I just love the winter fishing down here. And this year, with the sailfish being so prolific down here, I mean, they're just everywhere. It's really, really fun to get out there on the reef. And even while you're trolling around, you're watching other boats anchored up on the reef with kites out and people hooking up with fish that you're literally watching all around. You're watching sprays of bait just coming out of the water with sailfish fins chasing them. It's just a really exciting time of the year down here with the bait fish running. And I would love to take anybody out who wants to go fishing. It's a wonderful time of the year. It should last for probably another 6 weeks or so. And then we'll get into our mahi season, hopefully. My fingers are crossed. I'm praying to the fish gods. But yeah, I would love to take anybody out. It's just a really, really good time. Kids, ladies, first-timers, novices. If you've never done it before, it's easy. I'll coach you through it. I'll help you. Come with all the equipment and everything you could possibly need to be out there and do what you need to do. And it's just a really exciting time. And on top of that, then you never know exactly what you're going to see.
That's true. That's true.
We've got down here, and the marine mammals are just kind of going nuts as usual. And it's just a really, really fun time. Sea turtles everywhere. You never know what you're going to see. So the whole day as a package is really exciting.
All right. Well, I got to cut you short because we're running out of time rapidly. The Florida Salty Cowgirl, if you want to contact her, the Florida Salty Cowgirl on Facebook, a wide variety of other places. Atlas Trax, thank you so very much, Carolyn, for being my co-host this morning. I'll give you an opportunity to say goodbye, and we're out of here for today.
Tight lines, Angelia. My best to all our listeners. See you next week.
You got it, girl. Have a great day, everybody. Tight lines.
Tight lines.
Well, that is a fun gift.
All aboard, Southbound.